Well, hello, my name is Jacob. I am doing a PhD on a radical and wild thought experiment, which is to investigate whether we should just give all the money to the poor. And the money we're talking about is overseas development assistance. And this here is what it would look like. So we take a major part of the aid, which is about $180 billion globally, annually. We allocate that for social cash transfers, which is essentially either old age pensions or child support. That is given to citizens in the recipient countries. That could be Uganda or Tanzania or some other country receiving development aid. And then if we look at the final part of the cash flow, then there is an arrow here from the citizens to the government, which reflects that if we reallocate a major part of aid and send it this way down to the citizens, then it's no longer given for governments. The government will then have a finance problem. And how does a government solve that? By taxation. So this is taxation. This means that the government is taxing its citizens to make up for the loss of revenue. So that's essentially the cash flow of this idea that we're exploring. And the impacts then, there would be at least 3 impacts worth considering. One is that a larger share of the aid would be spent in country. This is essentially an overhead argument. The thing is that the current aid is very expensive, but social cash transfers are very cheap. So there's more money that will reach the recipient countries if there's a shift to this way of giving aid. Second part is easy to understand. That's essentially socioeconomic impacts, which means that when poor people get money, they're better off. They can spend it on whatever they want to spend it on. And it's well documented in the literature that there would be a socioeconomic impact. And there would also be an increased consumption and tax base, because when poor people get money, they tend to spend most of it. So that's another set of impacts that we would expect. And finally, because of, I'll just move this one, because of the taxation, because of governments becoming more dependent on their citizens and less dependent on the donors, in terms of direct finance, they will also become more accountable to the citizens and less accountable to the donors. So that's a positive, which can lead to certain governance and state formation processes. So that's essentially the theory of change, or the concept that we have theoretically thought out. And we are then doing various types of analysis to explore when and where might this work in practice.